And a lot of questions remain about the actual strikes in Venezuela, including the weapons used.
Let's bring in retired U.S. Marine Corps Lieutenant Colonel, Hal Kempfer, to find out more on this. Hi, Hal. Thank you for joining us, and tell us what you've been hearing about the weapons used in Venezuela.
Well, Brian, there were a number of weapons used. Of course, there was kinetic strikes that we saw. There was a variety of aircraft used, F-35s, F-22s, also drones. There was, I think, about 150 different types of aircraft that were up there that were used in various capacities. But there was also the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment with its rather unusual helicopters. They have a lot of things. So it's the same folks that supported SEAL Team 6 when they took out bin Laden, if you recall that strike. And they went in there and Delta Force took them out. So there's a lot of very advanced special operations weapons. But of course, the one that stands out, that's what's coming out today, is that we may have used something like microwaves or ultrasound in order to disable the guards around the compound, and that's gotten a lot of interest.
Yeah, and I believe something like 100 guards were killed in this strike. So I'm going to go ahead and use the word sonic, Hal. How do these weapons, these ultrasound weapons like you mentioned, work?
Well, the guards that were killed, as far as I know, I think that was a straight kinetic sort of thing. That was shooters and, doing normal things with, traditional type of attack. But the sonic weapons, and this comes up, you may have heard of the Havana syndrome. There's been, talk about the Russians maybe using something like this on our embassy personnel and other personnel overseas. Sonic weapons use intense directed energy. Microwaves is one way of putting it. Sonic is a term, but basically it causes tremendous pressure in the head. It causes bleeding, causes basically disorientation, disabling effects with your muscle movement and everything else. And that's kind of what they're talking about, is they got hit by this. It is used for crowd control, or at least I don't know if it's still legally used for crowd control here in the U.S., but it is something that the Marine Corps certainly was working on for many years, was what we call non-lethals, and that was one of the types of weapons, although not specifically what was talked about here, but stuff where it causes heat or causes pain and causes crowds to disperse. In this case, it actually disabled the guards.
You mentioned the Havana syndrome. I'm assuming other countries have this similar technology. Does that sound right?
That's as far as we know, they do, and it's been talked about. Well, could it be Russia? Could it be China? Honestly, with weapons of this sort, you can pretty much guarantee that all these countries are doing some sort of experimentation in the background, some sort of development. But what really kind of stands out is because this is you're talking about Delta Force. This is a very unique, when we talk about our tier 1 operators, they use some very unique weapons sometimes. Some things that have unusual effects, and again, not completely confirmed. It's just some reports that are coming out that this type of weapon may have been employed in and around the compound in order to quickly disable those guards to allow our U.S. forces, our U.S. operators to get in there and execute the mission. Very successful mission, obviously. So I'm sure someone somewhere, if we did use that weapon, is back there kind of taking a little operational review saying, how did it work?
So just, I guess, paint a picture for me. I mean, you said that these were highly targeted, but could there be collateral damage with weapons like this? I mean, is there people around the sonic microwaves that could get hurt?
Ashley, with any type of weapon, there's always a chance for collateral damage. I haven't seen any reports that say there were, and it may be they use this weapon because they can localize, if they did use a weapon like this, as it has been reported, they could have used it because they can localize, direct that beam in such a way that it would not cause a lot of collateral damage. And from what the reports are, it disabled the guards. They weren't able to react physically, mentally, or any other way. But it didn't sound like it was being used to kill the guards. So it wasn't a lethal weapon that was being used. And the fact that we're using a non-lethal weapon in what is otherwise a lethal strike shows that if this was employed, that may have been one of the concerns, was to try and take out some of the guards or take out those that might be in proximity to non-combatants, to civilians, in order to make sure at least they weren't killed, and to minimize the chance of harm. That might have been consideration.
Hal, we could talk about this all day. I'm getting the wrap. We appreciate it. Lieutenant Colonel Hal Kempfer, thanks for your time and expertise tonight.